The house on Highway 191 somewhere deep in the Arizona desert, along a desolate stretch of Highway 191, stands an old, crumbling house. The locals call it the windowless house. It's boarded up, overgrown with thorny bushes, and looks completely abandoned. But the strange thing is, every night, a light flickers in one of the windows. A truck driver named Tom Baker once said that one evening, while driving past the house, his radio suddenly began to hiss. Through the static, he heard breathing and a faint voice whisper. Turn back. He thought it was just interference, but when he glanced in the rearview mirror, he caught a glimpse of a woman with black eyes sitting in the back seat. Tom nearly lost control of the truck and sped past the house. Since then, he always avoids that stretch of road. Legend has it that in the 1970s, a family lived there, a husband, wife, and their young daughter. One day, the father came home from work, slit all their throats, and set himself on fire in the basement. No one ever discovered why. Neighbors claimed they heard strange noises before the tragedy, growling or voices speaking in an ancient language. Since then, the house has stood boarded up. But those who've dared to enter all say the same thing. Time feels frozen inside, the floors creak under invisible footsteps, and the basement is icy cold, even in the middle of summer. One guy, a blogger who explores haunted places, tried to live stream a night there. His camera shut off at 2:13 a.m., and he walked out with white hair and never spoke again. The police can't shut the place down. It's listed as private property. But for the past 20 years, no one has been able to locate the owner. The last man who tried to buy the land vanished 2 days after visiting. His car was found abandoned on the roadside, but he was never seen again. People say the spirit of the murdered little girl still waits inside. She stands at the window, waiting for someone to come in. But if you step through the door, it will slam shut behind you, and you'll never walk out again. Highway 191 seems ordinary until night falls. Then, if you ever see a house with a dim light in the window, don't stop. Never stop. The Forest of Broken Whispers in the northern part of Maine. There's a dense forest that locals call the Forest of Broken Whispers. It's not marked on any map, and even forest rangers avoid it. Legends about it have been passed down for generations, but no one knows exactly where they started. One thing is certain, people don't always come back from that forest. They say if you enter the woods in complete silence, you can hear the trees whispering to each other. But the whispering is strange, like someone trying to speak with a shattered jaw. Some describe it as a mix of scraping, crying, and moaning, all blending into unintelligible murmurs. In 1994, a group of college students decided to shoot a short film in the forest. They disappeared. The police found only their tent, a camera, and a voice recorder. The recording captured just one thing: a whispering voice repeating the same phrase over and over. There's no way back. You're part of us now. The most terrifying part was the voice. It sounded like a child's, but with the rasp of an old man. Experts couldn't determine the source of the voice. The camera was broken, but the memory card survived. The footage showed nothing but darkness and occasional flashes of light, as if someone was running with a flashlight. In the background, sobs and screams echoed. A local hunter once said he saw a faceless figure standing between the trees. He aimed his rifle at it, but the gun suddenly felt heavy like lead, and he couldn't pull the trigger. The figure vanished, leaving behind a smell of burning and barefoot prints in the frozen ground. Since then, people avoid that area. They say the forest takes anyone who listens to the whisper, and the longer you stay, the louder it gets. At first, it sounds like the wind, then like voices of people you know, and eventually, your own voice begging for help. No one knows what truly lives in the Forest of Broken Whispers. But if you're ever there, and the trees suddenly fall silent, it means they're already watching you. Patient 83 in 1956, a psychiatric hospital called Grayview in Pennsylvania, was shut down. Officially, it was due to administrative violations and inhumane conditions. But nurses who worked there claimed the real reason was something far more terrifying. Patient number 83. He was admitted with no name, no records. Found in the basement of an abandoned church, he was sitting in a corner, drawing symbols on the wall with his own blood. No doctor could identify him. He didn't speak, didn't respond to light or voices. He just kept drawing the same symbol, a a circle with a line through the center. The nurses were afraid to approach his room. At night, sobbing could be heard from his cell. Sometimes it sounded like a child, then it shifted into a man's roar, and finally into a terrifying, inhuman howl. One orderly who entered his room during a night shift died of a heart attack. His face was frozen in horror, and his eyes were gouged out. Patient 83 never slept. He just sat, staring at the wall. Several staff members began having identical nightmares. A long corridor filled with blood, and patient 83 standing at the end, whispering, "You're next." One doctor attempted to hypnotize him. The recording cut out midway. Only one clear sentence was captured. Patient 83's voice, cold and precise, said, "I was before you. I will be after." A week after that session, the doctor jumped out of a window. Following his death, all records on patient 83 vanished. That same night, a fire broke out in the building. Nearly everything was destroyed, except for room 83. It remained untouched. On its walls, the same blood-drawn symbols. On the floor, bare footprints leading into the wall. The building stood in ruins until the 1980s, when it was finally demolished. But the workers claimed they heard a voice inside, repeating, "You're next." One of them disappeared. He was never found. They say if you go to that place at midnight and whisper, "Patient 83, I see you," the air grows thick and whispers fill your ears. Then you'll see his face. And if you do, he's already with you. If you have your own creepy story, you can write it in the comments. It will be interesting. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.